to learn about ourselves. We need to learn how to interact with the people that we work with, the people that we love. And I think as we learn, we start to realize that some of the things that we do, we shouldn't do. Some of the things that we rarely do, we should do more often. And then learning new ways to show love to the people we love, new ways to show appreciation, why people do what they do, why we do what we do. And as we learn, we could start to change things that need to be changed. Everyone wants to be happy, but if you ask someone, well, what is it going to take to be happy? Some people may say, well, it's money. But you'll learn that it's not money. Some people say, well, if I can move from my apartment to a house, I'll be happy. And then you learn that, no, that's not going to make you happy. And I guess when you're older, you've learned through life, especially when you lose people, you learn through experience that, you know, this wasn't happiness, this was happiness. So I think we don't have to wait for bad things to happen in our lives. We don't need to wait for people that we love to die to learn how to communicate and live a happier life. So I think learning is the key to happiness. I think it's a key to success, is to be a learner and not be a knower. Like, you just learn stuff. I've learned a lot about myself, and then I look back and I said, well, if I knew this when I was raising my children, I probably would have raised them differently, right? So there was many mistakes that I did. So it's really about learning to be happy. Because we're dealing with situation all the time, you know, pressures of life. We live sometimes in a negative world, and we have to learn how to cope with that. We have to learn how to manage our stress. And if we don't learn how to manage it, then it manages us, and then we're never happy. So we could learn, and someone asked me about 2 weeks ago, but you must have a great life, you're always happy. No, that's not true. I mean, I have the same life as most people, but you learn how to manage the stresses. You learn how to slow down when bad things happen. You learn that. You learn it, you practice it, you make it part of your life. So I think that if we could just be open to concepts and not say, well, this is how it is, and this is how I am, and this is how she is, or this is how he is. But that's not true. That's who they currently are. And maybe with a new idea or a new concept or a new way to look at something, people change all the time. I mean, there are former drug addicts, there are former alcoholics, there's a lot of negative things. So we could learn how to be happy. There is a happiness curriculum out there. And you could learn it, you could apply it, and are we going to be blissful? I don't think it will be blissful in the life we live, in the world we live in, but you could find happiness in this world and be happier than even what most people even imagine they can be. I live a happy life, and yet I still have problems, but you know, you just learn to be happy and content in spite of. And we could also learn that there's nothing on the outside that makes us happy. Everything is internal. And if we could learn how to tap into our instinctive and intrinsic happiness, if we could tap into that, then the happiness comes from within, and all of a sudden it changes our outside world. There are certain cues that will trigger a habit. And so what I've learned, I'm reading a new book on habits, and what I've learned is that you could just adjust little things and it could change a big habit. So as an example, if you're a smoker and you're trying to stop smoking, well, lock the cigarettes in your glove compartment and go in the house. And every time you want a cigarette, you have to go in your car, unlock the glove compartment, and get a cigarette. And it's likely that you'll cut your smoking in half because it's just too inconvenient to smoke. And so you could take that and just make little adjustments in life. And all of a sudden, you've changed a habit that you've been working on for 20 years, 30 years. So I just recently learned the power of cues. Well, I always knew they existed, but I didn't realize how powerful they were. But that's something I just learned in the past 2 weeks. So now I'm looking at our organization. I'm saying, well, if we're looking to create certain behaviors, now I'm on this roll, we have to create little cues to remind people of what they've learned. And that's where I think I missed the boat, because we train, and we have manuals, but we don't have little cues that could just be as simple as a little sticky that you could put on a computer screen on a corner, and it may be a smile, or it may be, like the name of our program is EDGE, E-D-G-E, and it stands for Education, Development, Growth, and Enrichment. So I'm going to create little EDGE stickers, and I'm going to ask people to put them on their computers and put them on their phone. So every time they see the word EDGE, our competency program, and you developing yourself and becoming more powerful will cue everything you've learned in the program. So I'm starting to make those connections. And that's something, it's just new information, you know, that kind of new, but now I realize it's important if you want to make something stick. You have to have cues to remind the brain, this is the way we're going, this is the way we're going. Just like if you want people to smile at the customer, have a happy face on the computer, and they look at the happy face and it reminds them, oh yes, smile at the customer. Now some people think it's silly and it's small, but when you're looking to create habits and you're looking to create stickable behaviors, cues work. So that's something new.